Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Scorpio July 1, 2022. Neptune has just begun its retrograde cycle, which can seem to cast a veil over your affairs temporarily. There may be a minor disappointment that ultimately works in your favor as it fuels you to make changes. There can be a natural need to step back from particular creative or romantic pursuits to gain perspective. As you let things flow, you'll gain a stronger idea of which of your dreams and plans are genuinely worth your time and energy. This retrograde cycle lasts until December 3rd. If you experience an initial motivation dip, it may be a sign that you must look for a different source of inspiration. Take things easy, be gentle with yourself and others, and trust that you'll ultimately feel stronger. It's a time for making observations and adjustments rather than jumping into action. Fortunately, you can find a nice balance between growth or improvement and simplicity today. Believe it or not, everything is working out in your favor. You're starting to see this firsthand, so don't lose the momentum you have going. In the meantime, however, before the moon wraps up in sentimental Cancer via your expansive 9th house of adventure, wisdom, and unknown territory, Luna will harmonize with rebellious Uranus via your harmony-seeking 7th house of agreements, compromise, and significant others. Single, crushing, or already romantically attached, a significant other is likely showing you a whole new side to them, if not of the world entirely. You learn something new every day, so keep your mind and heart open. Expect the unexpected with your professional commitments today. You might see an obligation or partnership go in an unanticipated direction as the moon in Cancer sextiles Uranus in Taurus. Although you and your business partners may be plucked from your comfort zone, it could lead to something extraordinary. Your commitments could serve as a teaching moment as you could work with someone or on something that nurtures your professional development. If you are traveling for work, you may end up in an unexpected place. Keep an open mind as the sextile unfolds. If you feel like you just haven't anything left to give, it may be time to refill your well. Giving until it hurts doesn't really help anyone. When you let things drain you so completely, taking care of yourself can be difficult. Take some action to nurture yourself. Turn off the phone and don't answer the door if that's what it takes. Learn to say no to avoid situations like this. Your optimistic and positive charisma are magnetic. A friend or family member may need your help fairly soon, so don't hesitate to offer them assistance, since you have the necessary resources. It will definitely make you feel good to help others, knowing that they will remember you for it. You're feeling feisty, and you'll be entrusted with a secret. Those two can go together, believe it or not. You'll barely feel tempted to spill it, and you're strong enough to resist. Full of positive energy, it seems your efforts have paid off. Be sure you don't get too carried away, just because others find it difficult to refuse you. Try to remain modest. In spite of the attention and flattery you receive, other people also like to have some attention paid to them. Give recognition where it's due. You could be in a mercurial state of mind, changing your opinion about things every other minute. It could be hard to stay focused in one direction, so you won't want to make any hasty decisions right now. You'll need some extra time to weigh the pros and cons of any issue or action. Try not to go to extremes and make any binding commitments until the energy settles down a bit more. Be sure that you leave yourself enough time in your hectic schedule for creative expression. Most 8 personalities are extremely creative by nature, and if you tend to suppress this part of yourself in favor of working all the time, discontentment is sure to develop. The energy of the vibration that is in the air today can bring out the best in you when it comes to artistic expression. Take some time to explore. You are sure to find it very rewarding. In a last-ditch effort to squeeze out the influence of a new moon 2 days ago, the moon is spending its final hours in an adventurous part of your chart at a friendly aspect to Neptune, just days after his retrograde turn in a playful part. Knowing that the moon will not only end the day in your career sector but just as Mars moves into his final days in your work sector, with both sides of life's fence energized, a balance between work and play become even more important. Before leaving an adventurous part of your chart today, the moon will form a friendly aspect to dreamy Neptune, just days after his retrograde turn in your romantic sector. With the moon wrapping up a new moon that has opened new doors just as Neptune has opened the doors to the past and second chances, this is giving the spirit of romance and adventure free access to both. Our eyes in the sky. It can enable spiritual or emotional bypassing, yet it can also help us to gain perspective regarding situations that are typically too charged for us to assess objectively. This is one of those times where compartmentalization can be a helpful technique, as it frees us from self-imposed obligations to canonize our past. Instead of assuming that we are bound to replay the same traumas over and over again, we recognize that we have the authority to change how we tell our stories. This will be a somewhat unconscious process today, organically occurring as we go about interacting with friends, coworkers, and acquaintances. We simply tell our story differently, and this action creates change. Using new words prompts different recollections, and the way we share with others creates a holistic ripple effect. Meanwhile, Saturn in Aquarius loves innovation but might be slow to put changes into effect, knowing that true progress is never achieved overnight. Yet, when these two influences come together in a sextile, they harmoniously play off each other. Mars encourages Saturn's propensity for experimentation. Saturn checks Mars' instinct to run into the fray without proper protection. This is a great aspect to use for initiatives where we must put our heads down and focus. Although we will not likely reach our projected target today, this Mars-Saturn permeates us with the confidence that we will achieve our aims if we work diligently towards their realization. This makes us want to get lost in the waves of love and emotion. Be careful about trusting people who don't deserve it. This can excite sexual prowess and heighten sex drive. It also shortens tempers, so try to avoid meltdowns and drama if you can. A good way to deal with this energy is to meditate or count to 10 before confronting anyone. This can help alleviate the situation and melt away stress. By the end of the day, you could feel worn out and tired. Give yourself a rest, some love, and a glass of wine. The moon in Cancer, ending its void of course which began last night. This is the sign of its exaltation, suggesting an easy flow of instinctual, nurturing energy. Over the next 2 days, we are encouraged to connect with our senses and practice mindfulness. Seek radical presence and keep things simple. The past is gone. The future is yet to be. Acknowledge the tether between your emotions and your environment, and ground into the moment. In the late afternoon, the Cancer Sun forms a quincunx to Saturn in Aquarius, which might dampen our spirits. We may sense a looming crisis, or fixate on a nagging feeling that there are responsibilities we must attend to. The timing is inconvenient, as this is one of those occasions where there is never an optimal time for it to land in our laps. We want to be a leader and demonstrate that anything can be handled with compassion and integrity. Yet addressing this issue requires us to put our feelings aside and just get it done, which seems counterintuitive and causes us to feel stretched thin. We worry we might be viewed as uncaring if we handle the matter efficiently, or that we will be seen as too soft if we act from a heart-centered place.